Hello and welcome back to the core of this summit is your course creation process. In this session, in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I will help you identify a theme and walk with you through the process of creating a beta course. Now, we're always starting with a rough draft. When we create anything, the first time we put something together, it's a rough draft, especially if we don't have any experience putting it together. If we have experience of creating something that doesn't sell, it's pretty much the same, because really creating is not as difficult as selling. And learning to sell is not about how do I position my pricing, where do I put the colors, how do I arrange things, although those things are, really do matter, and Jill is going to walk you through this process tomorrow. But really, your course creation process is about, beginning with a rough draft. You begin with your first draft, and it's scary. It's not something that we can accept. But the sooner we accept it, the better off we'll be. So, the next slide, what I would like for you to do is to close your eyes if you can, wherever you are, without freaking people out. If you cannot, just try to look somewhere. Look at your favorite picture and think about it. Maybe you can look here uh, and read it. But what I would like for you to do is to breathe in and be aware of your breath, and breathe out. Take a couple of those breaths. It's really important. And to kind of relax in the process. You breathe in all the creativity, filling your lungs with air, thinking about the new course that you will create. And you breathe out the doubt, the anxiety, the rush. Now I'll be reading a few things. You continue breathing, but I would like for you, as you breathe, to soak these words in. It's really important. I'm creating a rough draft. It will be imperfect, and it will change. I give myself permission to make mistakes and learn from them. Breathe in. Breathe out. Today I've made my best. I've put all my love into this product, and it will resonate with my clients. When they buy, they don't want perfection. They want a solution, which I will provide. All right, now you can open your eyes. These are short affirmations and the goal of this exercise, because I believe mindfulness is really important for everything we do, because we can't just automatically put things together. But what is important is to come to grips with the fact that what we're creating is a rough draft, and it will change, and it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, and our clients don't want perfection. What they want is solution. So let's move on. So as you move into your course creation, and for the sake of our conversation here about a course, an online course is something that is your ultimate goal, is something that will keep selling by itself. What I will talk about here is the beta version of the course, which I would call a program. Is something that you create together with the clients in a smaller setting to get feedback, to get more ideas, so that you can then scale it. You can't just go out and create a course, and this is what most of online teachers do. They teach one-to-one, they get tired, they're like, I'm just going to create a course. They put 6 months into it, they create a course nobody buys. So I want you to, and that's why I walked you through the affirmations to remind you that what you are creating is just a rough draft. So before you create your course, you have to understand your niche. You need to know who this course is for. Um, you understand your client's persistent problem, and that's what will happen after you interview them. You will have to understand how it will help them solve this problem and how it will connect to their desires. So you can't just like do, this is, if you feel like your clients need a grammar course, you can't just take a textbook and make it into videos. So it has to be something more than that, something that will appeal to your client more than just a grammar book. Or it might be a grammar book if you are working with geeks, but you have to be really, really specific about that. You have to create a resonance, and you have to build a tiny community around something that all of your clients and you uh, resonate with. So most clients, whether they learn a language or anything else, but particularly learning a language, they have really specific struggles that can be outlined in these ways. They struggle to improve specific skill. Um, it may be just getting started, or it may be improving or overcoming plateau, or writing better, etc. So they need a specific skill. They need help with this, creating resume, writing, applying for jobs, whatever. Then the second problem, they don't have the time. Then they understand they don't have the time, but they need to have the time. But even when they do have the time, they don't seem to have the motivation for self-study, which is essential for growing and developing. And they need a sustainable model that will help them moving forward, motivated, keep improving, etc. So what you can do through your course is you can help them improve the skill because you have the expertise. Then you have to create the tasks and assignments that will respond to their need of, oh, I struggle to find the time. Then you can incorporate their favorite mode of learning to boost motivation. So for example, Kara, who I interviewed for one of the stories for the summit, and you will watch the story, she helps people with their listening, but her ideal client are the people that love movies. So they watch movies, they watch series in particular, and that's how they are learning and they're improving their language without really making much of an effort, and that's what boosts their motivation. So Kara used her expertise and her understanding of her ideal client to create something that people will enjoy. Anna Lamastro, who I will interview as well, she and you will watch her interview, she used a different mode. She appeals to people that love reading classics and classical literature. So that boosts their motivation. For a moment, they forget that they're learning the language because they're doing something that really motivates and inspires them. And finally, you can help people improve by creating a model, tracking sheets, worksheets, workbooks, to keep people accountable and to keep them moving forward, doing a little bit every day. So you create your beta course, or a program rather, with an offer. So let's say out of all the clients you currently have, there are certain people that, or maybe you have a community, and as you're talking to them, you realize there are certain things that they don't get from the classes or from the traditional model that they're doing. They just want, for example, to get past their plateau level, but they don't know how, because the only offer on the table for them is to go prepare for tests, which they don't want to do. So what is there? And that's what Anna used for her business, where she created a book club for people that want to learn classical and appreciate classical literature. So start it out by the beta offer before you even have this huge following or big system without, email marketing service with nothing. Just start out by writing a personal email and outline the offer. And in the workbook, there will be this email template that you can use or you can add on to whatever. And include, of course, how you're going to address these struggles. So you say, so I know that you want to improve this skill, but you don't have the time to do it. And so I've developed this program that is going to help you A, B, C, and D. It's really important to tell them when this program will run. I want to test drive it next month. It starts from this time to this time. And I usually encourage people, because timing is an issue, don't create a program that lasts 6 months. That does not solve your client's problem where they don't have the time. Put something together that is only, manageable, 3 weeks, for example, and choose one specific goal, one specific outcome, include dates, price, and way to pay, and then follow up with people to see what their response is. So that is your beta course. You run it several times. You run this program several times. Maybe you will want to do it as a program. Maybe you will want to, if it's writing, you can do it as a series of emails with feedback. There are different ways of doing that, and you don't have to overthink. And I'm going to talk about this in our final session on the tools that I recommend you use if you do not have your website yet, or if you're just putting it together. So what are your goals of this beta program? First of all, you need to find out, is there interest, and many of the people that I have interviewed will tell you that the first thing, before you even start creating something, because it takes so much time, you need to see if there's interest. If there's no interest, well, maybe you need to tweak it. Maybe you need to follow up with these people and say, because they are your fans, remember? If they don't like it, then no other fans will like it. But if there's like a legitimate excuse, for example, I just don't have the time because I will be, from this date to this date, I will be on a trip. So maybe we can do it another time. Try to have several people in this group and get different approaches and get feedback. So if people don't want one-to-one no longer works for them. They can't put them, they can't find 30 minutes or 1 hour to sit in front of the computer. Maybe you need to create and use a voice chat recordings for speaking. Or you can do a workbook with people, do writing, written assignments, and then you can give them feedback through Google Docs. Then you collect testimonials, listen to what people say to improve your copy of the landing page, which is what Jill is going to talk about. Redo this program, run it again and over again a couple of times until you're ready to create a course. So you don't just say, okay, now I know all these things, now I'm going to put together a course. And even when you create a course, we're going to go back through meditation and say, it's all a rough draft. Your first course, then you will still have to make some changes and you will still have to make adjustments. In the end, it's all going to be worth it, and you will see how it will all be worked into one big puzzle. So ask me questions about this beta program if you have ideas, or maybe you have doubts or fears about this. It's normal. It's totally normal. It's a part of the process because you're putting out something creative. You're not sure. So I want to be there, and other speakers are there to inspire you, encourage you to try out. And that's what a better program is all about. And in my final session, last session, I'm going to show you how you can use really, really simple platforms to put it out there and see how it works. And maybe you just put it out there and see that there's interest, and then you can take it down, rework it, and put it out again. So let's keep this conversation going, and I will see you in the next session.